Rapture dreams. Are they legitimate? A messenger of truth doesn't think so.
All right, so there's a lot of people out there who have rapture dreams and they think it's going to happen soon. And some people have even told me that they think that since a lot of people are having these types of dreams, that means it must be true, and that strengthens their arguments for a rapture that is going to happen soon.
Sadly, there are way too many people who get their theology from dreams. And man, I think that lands people in all sorts of very bad places. In fact, I can think of a number of false teachers that I think really rely on the gullibility of their viewers to think that their dreams are really from God, or perhaps supposed dreams, and that sadly a means to deceive people. And man, in this day and age, man, there are so many people who think they get dreams from God, hear visions from God, hear God speak to them, when it absolutely is not Him, and may in fact be even a demonic spirit. Now, please don't get me wrong. I believe God can give all those things today. But just because you have a dream about moving to a new country doesn't mean that's from the Lord and that's what the Lord wants. And just because you have a dream about the rapture absolutely does not mean in and of itself that is from God. Or even if the dream was from God, it doesn't necessarily mean you're understanding everything correctly. Now, all believers will absolutely meet the Lord in the air, but maybe it will happen in a way that you don't expect. One thing I find interesting about the culture I'm in is that it seems like most people's default position is the typical dispensational end times. That is that there's a rapture, 7-year tribulation, Jesus comes back, millennial reign of Christ. But I think that's honestly a very unusual view when you look at what people believe throughout church history. Let's face it, I think a lot of people got their end times from movies like Left Behind. Now, I'd be so curious, if you want to share what your view is, by all means, mention it in the comments below. Whether you're dispensational premill, historic premill, all-mill, post-mill, some other kind of mill, or even if you're a pan-millennial, that it will all pan out in the end. Now, the joke I kind of tell is like this. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm historic premill. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm all-mill. Saturdays, I'm confused. And then Sundays, I just take a break. And man, I've heard it said about the millennial reign of Christ that it's 1,000 years of peace that Christians like to fight about. Now, let's not fight about it. But hey, I'd love to see your positions in the comments. But yeah, when it comes to your position on the end times, you should absolutely not be relying on dreams, but on the faith that was once for all handed down to the saints and can equip us for every good work. You know, I once had a dream back in college that someone had snuck into my room and did all my laundry. And I was sad when I woke up because that dream definitely didn't come to pass. Now, I do have dreams that I do believe was from the Lord. And maybe that's for another day. But then I also get afraid people will run too far with that. Oh, it's so sad. I've just known so many people who just have gotten so carried away with those things. I mean, have you seen the Bethel crowd? What on earth is going on there? Yeah, let's be diligent to study the scriptures and hear from God Himself through them.